We have this recording for us, and we will go ahead and get started. So, my goal today is to show you, or try to show you the best way that I can, how you can be interactive with your classroom by using your Clevertouch and Kami. So the first thing that I'm going to go over is Clevershare. Um, Clevershare is the wireless screen sharing app for Clevertouch interactive panels. It lets teachers instantly share their device screens, laptops, tablets, or phones to the Clevertouch display without needing cables. Um, could I get like a reaction from some people who have been using Clevershare in their classrooms? Or a thumbs down if you've never used Clevershare in your classroom. Okay. So I have some thumbs ups. I have some hand raises. Assuming that the hand raises you have used it. Okay, wonderful. Um, if you have not used Clevershare, let me explain to you how you use it. So whether it is you are on your desktop or you're on your school laptop that folds into a tablet, you can go down here to the search bar and you can just type in Clevershare. Okay, I am already connected with my Clevershare. Let me actually disconnect. So this is your Clevershare. This is what it looks like. Um, we just have the short code on. You do have to be connected to the same device or the same internet. We're all connected to MISD devices or MISD. And there is a code on your board. So my code for today's training is SEKDR2. And there I have two options. Now, usually I would just go to screen share. And screen share is going to allow you to take whatever is on your computer, like I'm doing right now with this presentation, is I'm presenting. It's going to present your entire screen. And then you have desktop sync. So what that does is it takes what's on the Clevertouch and it brings it to your computer. And for today's training, I am going to use that. I'm going to try my very best to describe everything that I'm doing. So I'm going to start. And this is what my Clevertouch looks like. So the biggest things that I want to touch on today is how to use Clevershare. So if you've used your Clevertouch panel, you know you can do whiteboard, you can open up videos, all of that. But the biggest thing with today's training is I'm trying to get you used to Cleversharing on your laptop or a personal device. And I'll talk about my iPad in just a little bit. So up here you have this little, looks like a phone that's sharing something out. If you click here on your board, it'll show the code and kind of what it's connected to. And I'm going to view the main interface. And I'm going to go to menu and I'm going to go to settings. A couple of different settings I want to talk about is permission mode. So excuse me, for me, whenever I just shared, Josh or nor I had to get up and hit accept on our panel. And that is because we have permission mode turned off. If you are having to hit accept every time, you would go here and you would go to your settings and you can toggle this off. Another one that I will talk about is support Chromecast device. Now, your Clevertouch is like a big Android tablet. And if you choose to, you can turn off support Chromecast device. And the reason why you might do this is because sometimes students can Chromecast, other people can Chromecast. For example, if Isabel wanted to, she could try to Chromecast to our Clevertouch. Now, she wouldn't be able to get very far because we do have it turned off. And that's one of the reasons why you would want to turn it off, is so that you know who's sharing to your device. I am going to leave support AirPlay device on. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm showing you later in today's training how to use like your personal iPad and how it can be interactive as well, because it's a bit lighter than your school laptop. And then you can also rename your device. For example, our device name is iTech because we're in instructional technology. You can choose the code refresh rate to be 10 minutes, or you can just put never, and it'll never refresh. And the last thing that I would want to talk about is the floating window. So right now it's in normal, but if I have it down in mini size, then I can't see my code. And then I have to get up and click on the Clevertouch, and I'm a little shorty, and it doesn't help that I'm 8 months pregnant. I can't reach at all. So it is a lot easier if my floating window size is normal, so that I can always see the code. Any questions about the Clevershare app, whether it's on your computer or on the Clevertouch, it's your actual self? Any questions about the Clevershare app? Okay, so I am going to disconnect. And I am going to go down to my Kami slide. So Kami turns any document into an interactive workspace. Teachers and students can write, highlight, add shapes, or insert images directly onto PDFs, worksheets, or slides. By projecting Kami onto a screen, it also works like a document camera, letting teachers model problem solving, annotate in real time, and showcase student work for the whole class. So, if you've never used Kami before, let me show you where you find it. If you go to your little puzzle piece, you should be able to see Kami right here. Now, today I do have it pinned, and I have it pinned right here, and let me explain why I have it pinned. Because whenever you have something pinned up here, you can just click on it and open, and it'll take you to the extension or the site. Sorry guys, I'm dealing with some heartburn. And this is what your Kami dashboard looks like. So in your Kami dashboard, you can open up any kind of PDF files or files that you have on your Google Drive, your computer, or you can even sample things from the Kami library. So for example, if you're an art and music teacher, I'm going to choose 3rd grade. Your students could do a wanted poster, a butterfly template, all kinds of different things. And you would just need to open it and assign it. And I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. You can also just open a blank page. There are some AI features, and there's also a split and merge feature. But as of right now, I am going to go back to our presentation and show you all the tools that you can use with inside Kami. So one of the tools that you can use is the select tool. I don't have anything right here, so I really can't select anything. Another thing is the understand tool. So the understand tool is going to be a dictionary, a translate tool, an explain tool, summarize, relevel, and adjust. And then you have your read aloud tool. This can also be assigned to students. This is going to read, for example, if you have a reading passage, it will read the reading passage to your students. So it's really helpful to those students that maybe have those accommodations of speech to text or text to speech. Then you have your markup, which is just a highlighter. So you can, if you have a reading passage that you want to go through with your students and you really want them to start highlighting and annotating on their PDFs so that they get into the habit of doing that for STAR, you can do that with a markup. You also have the comment tool. Now, you don't have to use the comment tool. I don't allow my students to use the comment tool, but it's a great way that you can comment on their page. There's also, like, you can do a voice comment, a video comment, and a screen capture. A text box is just exactly what it sounds like. Oops. And then you have the equation, which is really great for our math and English, or not English teacher, music teachers. So if I just click anywhere, it'll bring up a text box and I can bring up a music symbol. Don't ask me what it's called because I have no idea. And then I can also resize this. Oops. I want it very large. And then I can come over here and use my select tool and move it around. And then you have your drawing, which is how you would annotate on your laptop or iPad. This training is a little bit more difficult for me because I'm not sitting in front of y'all. I'm on a camera, so I can't show you. But for my in-person trainings, I've talked a lot about the ViewSonic pencil or pen. It's a stylus. And what's great about this stylus is that it'll work on your laptop. It'll also work on your iPad, and it'll even work on your Clevertouch. I did buy this one personally. It's $40 off of Amazon. But if you want a good stylus that will work on all of your devices, I do recommend this ViewSonic stylus. So, and the reason why I'm talking about this is because if I was on my computer or my iPad, I could just take my stylus and write versus my mouse, which I don't have very pretty handwriting with my mouse. There's also shapes. I'm going to do an insert line. I'm going to make it pink. And I want that to be a straight line. So I'm going to do a 90-degree angle. And then my eraser. So I can just erase drawing and shapes. Or I can erase all annotations. So that's going to erase my comments, my text box, and my music symbol. Then you have AI questions. With AI questions, you can convert any PDF to an AI document and it will auto grade for you. Or if you have reading passages or things like that, and you just want to make, excuse me, you want to create some questions, but you don't want to come up with them, that's when you can generate AI, or you can create from scratch, which is just build your own assessment. I'll go over this a little bit later in the training. You also have add media. So add media, anything that I have on my computer can be added. I can take a picture. I can upload from Google Drive. I can also do a Google image search. So I'm going to do funny puppies. And that is what it gave me. I can also insert a YouTube video, which you would have to open YouTube, or you can just paste the URL there. I can also do a graphic organizer. So I'm going to do this Venn diagram. And then I can also do a sticker. And stickers are really great whenever you are grading, because then I can just put great job. And then the last thing that you can do is you can add a signature. And this is my signature, and I can make it smaller or bigger. And those are all kinds of the different tools that you can use in Kami. So when I think about interactive teaching with Kami and Clevershare, it's me being up in the back of my classroom, sitting in the back of the classroom where I know my problem children live. That's where they want to hang out at. I can be back there with them and redirect them whenever I need to, because we work for Midland ISD, so all of our kids are perfect, right? Or I can let them use my iPad or my computer and get them to actually solve a problem where I know that they are understanding what I'm saying, because in my classroom I had 36 students. 36 students, it's not even easy to get to the board if I'm the teacher, let alone if I'm the student. So having these devices such as your iPad and laptop and being able to go to your students and check their understanding is a great tool for you to use, that you can be anywhere in your classroom. And that's kind of where the interactive comes in, that you can be anywhere in your classroom while still teaching what you need to. Before I get off of Kami, I do want to show you what it looks like to convert an assignment with AI and how to assign it in Google Classroom. I just think it's really important that you know how to do that. So I am going to go to Kami Library, and I'm just going to choose something very quickly. So I'm going to do this PEMDAS puzzle. So here I see that I have, so A across, this equals this, G equals something. So for this, to use AI with it, you would go to AI questions and convert with AI and convert this document. And I'm going to convert just this one page. And the reason why I'm showing you this is I want you to be able to walk out of this or leave this training and know how to use Kami with your Clevershare app. And I want you to be able to use just Kami in general. And by showing you how to use AI questions and converting the document, it allows us to auto grade assignments in Google Classroom. So you're not having to look at every single assignment. Kami in Google Classroom grades it for you. You just have to kind of skim over it and make sure it's correct. And converting questions with AI, it allows you to see the questions. So for example, you have K equal the first question. So I'm going to uncheck all of these. I'm going to trash them all actually. And K is going to equal 10, I think. Yep. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it has 10 questions. So each question is 10 points. I have to do that. And here I can actually display it on the page or show answer field only. If I want to just show answer field, I do still have to display it on page. And I'll kind of show you why I like to do that. Because then my students can just type in here what it is. Question 2, which is B. I'm going to trash all of these answers. I'm going to do this as 10. And P equals 4, 16, 20. And I'm going to display this on page, and I'm going to just move this down. So whenever I'm doing this on Kami, my students are going to have to type this in to the boxes, and they can also use the text box to fill in all of this, or they can use the drawing tool to fill this all in. If you want to see what this looks like for your students, you would just go up here to your binoculars. It says Student Preview. So here you can kind of see it says questions 1 and question 2 to answer on the page. And then they would answer all the other ones. But this is what it looks like for them. And I can exit the student preview. And if I liked it, what I can do is I can now assign it to my classrooms. So to assign it to your Google Classroom, you would go up here and you see this little file, this little piece of paper that looks like it's been clipped off. You can create an assignment. So I just titled it PEMDAS Puzzle. I want to make a copy for all of my students. I'm going to give it to my Sherry Marks class. And the most important thing you can do here is make sure you know what feature controls are turned on. So I'm going to go to this pencil. I'm going to let them use those select tools. And I'm also going to allow them to use the understand tools, translate and read aloud. And I'm going to leave my read aloud turned on. I don't think they really need to highlight. I'm going to they don't need to comment. For this example, I can turn off my equations. They don't need to use that. They can use text blocks or drawing to fill out the crossword puzzle. They don't need shapes. I am going to allow them to use the eraser. And I'm going to turn off all of my media so that you can't get on anything they don't need to get on, and click OK. And then I'm going to assign. And I'm going to choose to open it in my classroom. And then if my students had actually opened the assignment, I can click Open Class View. And what that will do is it will open all of my students' assignments for this. And I can watch them work. And what is so great is, like, while watching them work, I can also redirect them, and I can comment like, hey, remember what the P stands for in PEMDAS. What does that stand for? I can comment on their page and they can respond to me that way. And that's how you assign an assignment in Google Classroom or from Kami to Google Classroom. If you wanted to, you could also go to Classwork, create and do Kami assignment, and assign it from here. Do I have any questions about Kami? Do I have any questions about Clevershare? I'm not done yet. I'm just asking you questions before I go into this next part, because this next part is a little bit more difficult to show. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And the reason why I'm going to stop sharing my screen is because now I'm going to spend some time showing you how to use my iPad. So I have my laptop, and it's heavy and it's bulky, and I don't mind it if I have something that I can stand with, but I really like to use my iPad, and this is my personal device. I am, again, 8 months pregnant. I'm going to choose a lighter thing to carry around a classroom than a heavy thing. So this is my lighter option. To get your iPad connected to your Clevershare, there's a couple of different things you have to do. The first thing that you have to do is to connect your personal iPad with MISD network. Whenever you do that, here's what I'll say. If you don't want us to see it, don't look at it. While you're on school network. We don't want to see it. Okay? And then you would also need to download the Clevershare app. So it's just like this. That's what it looks like. I am going to disconnect it if I can. It's being weird. So to do this, let me go back. So I already have typed in the code, and then I'll go to Start. And then from here, I do have to, oh, nope, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Give me just a second. I have to mirror my screen. So you do your little mirror, and you would find Clevershare. It might take a few minutes to share. And then from here, if I have anything on here, so for example, I have an app called Kami. What I will say about the app named Kami is that I created it myself. I got onto Safari, I went to Kami, I opened it and I signed in, and I created a shortcut by just clicking. I created a shortcut by clicking on the share button and adding it to my home screen. And that is how I created my Kami app. So now I just click on it and it shows whatever I was doing. So one of the things that I did last session is I showed them how to use my ViewSonic pin. And I used the drawing tool. And it's so much prettier than with my mouse. And I can draw like little hearts. I can say great job. I'm not doing a great job writing because I'm kind of writing weirdly like this, and I'm not used to that. But that's kind of how I would use my personal iPad with my ViewSonic bin in my classroom. And then I can be anywhere in my classroom and have students write on this. In my live sessions, I had Josh and Marissa come up with their own math problems for each other, and they had to solve them. Marissa was great at solving. Josh, not so much. I'm just kidding. And that's just kind of how I use this. So we do have a little bit of time left. So if you have questions, stick around and we will happily answer them. Otherwise, you are free to go. You did receive an hour exchange day credit. Have a great day. Thank you all for coming. If you don't have any questions, feel free to go home. Have a good evening. You're welcome. That's always good.
I do have a question since most everybody's
Yes,
off. It's Jackie from Peas.
Hey.
So I got caught up in a meeting and I wasn't able to join till like right before 5 o'clock. Can I just join another session or?
So this was the last session I had over this.
Uh-huh.
I will be doing Magic School for AI on Wednesday. Or Magic School AI for math teachers on Wednesday.
So is this session going to be given again another time? Because I signed up for that one as well already.
I don't think so, but what we can do and what we have done is if you want us to, we can come out to Pease and give the training in person, like maybe not this week, but maybe next week as a makeup session and still give you your hour credit.
Okay. It would have to be after 4 though, because that's when my new show kiddos leave. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Just on a day that we're not having another session, because I signed up for
Yeah.
as many as I could.
We might could do it maybe Monday,
Okay,
uh,
that
when
should work.
s- when students aren't in school.
Yeah, and if you
Oh,
could
then
get other,
anytime. I'm sorry, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say if you, sorry, if you could get other math teachers to attend, that would be great as well, or any teacher.
Okay, I'll go ahead and send an email to see if anybody's interested in coming.
Okay, and we can be there at 4 on Monday if you would like us to.
Okay. Well, since the kids aren't here, then I completely forgot we had a day off without the kids, so we can definitely do it sooner than that.
Okay. How about 3:30 because I know we're also giving other training sessions.
Okay, then that should work. Actually, I
Okay.
like that better. Okay, that works for me.
Okay. I will try to make it. I'm not traveling as much, but I will try.
If it's too much, that's okay. I can just sign up for another session some
Nope.
other time.
I mean, Josh can do it if I'm not there, but I am gonna try to come.
Okay, that
Hmm.
sounds good. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.